La Yashala, which means to Israel. Imagine Party Akwadam means to rise and face the east. All right. Once again, I imagine will Party Akwadam, which means to rise and face the east. This is the Lord's Fast, that's like the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. All right. Abinaba, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shukah, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Haya, Asha, Baratazak, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Natalanawa, Lakum, Kal Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawat Yanawa, Wala'ah, Taba'ayanawa, Manasayawan, Ba, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Lakab, Hamalakwat, Wa'ala, Wataparaf, La Awalami, Aman. In the English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. All right. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashim Yahushah, Babakashah, Nathanawa, Hakat, Hakat, La Ra'ah, Karmakala, Karmanawa, Hakat, La Tahar, Hamatazari, Hakat, La Hakim, Hamathim, Hakat, Arakawat, Hatama'ala, the guardianship, Bashim Yahushah, the Waraman, the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushah, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Vayasha'ala, Wahabaya, Saparian, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Tawaraman. Bless Israel in the English. What we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us in Israel, in the school. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Harim, Ma'ayan, Yava'ah, Azariah, Isariah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh. Tizalka, Ayah, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'ah, Yakakat, Wayarak, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'atka, Wabawaka, Mayatha, Wa'ai, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber, behold. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damiyalaka, Al-Takarash, wa Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Al-Wabika, Yahami Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Amaka, Yawayamba, Sawada, Wayatha, Yatazawa, Al-Tazapuanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawat, Nakakidam, Goya, Wala Ayazakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawatazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Arika, Bariath, Yakaratwa, Ahoya, Adamam, Washamai, Slakit, Adamam, Wayashama, Alayam, Mawa'aba, Wa'gariam, Kabal, Waimawan, Waimalak, Palashath, Amiyashabia, Tazabur, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zerwa, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Ashalahum, Kamatin, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabian, Wanako, Kuyashwan, Nashamatwa, Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Arama, Shayathamwa, Nada, Yamawa, Kaira, Wakazabat, Wakazor Manai, Karnasi Kamwa, Ashar, Amara, Narasha, Lanawa, Af, Naawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shathamba, Kagagala, Kakwach, Lapanya Rawaka, Kaash, the Baria Ira, Wakalabat, Dalahat, Harium, Khan, Daratma, Asiraka, Wabasu Patka, Dalaham, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shuka, Yahawah, Yabashwa, Waya Bahowa, Ayai, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya Atha, Shakat, Yahawah, Labatka, Aliwan, Al Kaharatasa. Psalms 83 in the English. Give not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee are lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off and be a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they are consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and Hungarians, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kisan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, making nobles like a rib, and like Zeb, yea, all the princes as Zabah, and as the moon, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession, O my power. Make them like a wheel as a stubble before the wind, as a fire burneth the wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right. ISUPK power structures. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. To the evils, the curses, the punishment, and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. To the evils, the curses, the punishment, and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils, the curses, the punishment, and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan nations, skinheads, Posse Kamikaze, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, Nazi space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channel, and radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that is the angels who have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause him to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. All right, sorry. Let's return. All right. All right. All right. Yeshavium, which means to be seated. All right. All right. Once again, Yeshavium, which means everybody can be seated. Okay. All right. I'm starting first. Let me see. All right, first things first, I want to say shalom. Yahweh Shem Shah Barakatah to the brothers, shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Allah Ta'ala Shem Shah to the sisters, all right? I am preaching Officer 5000, Maccabia out of ISUPK, Minnesota, under commanding General Yohana. As you may know, every single Saturday, Lord allow, we have what is called the Sabbath service, okay? Where it's a, not really just a ceremony, but more of a traditional cultural practice that we do as far as a service, where everyone comes together and we dive into the scriptures in our native tongue, which is the ancient Paleo Hebrew, all right? Not the Yiddish, not the Shaloms and the Shaloms, but Shalom. Shalom, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? So, we get into our native tongue in the scriptures. With each book, we go over a certain amount of scriptures or verses, so to speak. And today we are in Numbers chapter 31, and we are going to be all the way into chapter 32, okay? The verse is also posted on the title of the video if you want to follow along, and I will also repeat it. And again, also too, the job of the mother when it came to learning the Hebrew was to teach the children. If she was a woman that was at home majority of the time with the children, she would teach them their language. Because as you know, a woman is, one of the main teachers of a child, okay, in the household. When the father was, out, providing, food and shelter and working in a sense. Like when you look in the scriptures, the men of war were not always in the house. There was a time where we had to, till the land, get the food, get all the resources that there were needed for, building up a family or sustaining that family. And so that was the mother's job when it came to the children, was to teach them their language, because once the children got older, especially the male children, they will come up and sit where I'm sitting with the priest and display what they have learned in their house as far as their language and learning how to speak in their language, going through the scriptures as an example. Okay. So, and of course, with any tongue that you read in, you have to translate it into a tongue or another language, because, the word tongue means language. You have to translate it in a language that everybody understands. So right now, for those that are watching me, you understand that I'm speaking English. But when I get into Hebrew, you may not fully understand it, but we are going to break it down. Okay? That's part of the Sabbath service. All right? So if anybody has any questions or concerns, please type it into the chat. All right? Otherwise, we are going to get straight to it. Okay? All right. Put this right in front of me. And let's get it. And also, too, just to give a little bit of a backstory for the last couple of weeks, if you have not been here, a lot has transpired in the book of Numbers within the last few chapters. So just to recap quickly, right now we are at a point in the scriptures where I want to say, let me see, I'm trying to go off of memory. Let me see something. I want to say with this chapter that we are in right now, because we're all the way in verse 41. But starting from verse 1 all the way down, just to recap, just to sum it all up, there was a lot of hell that was going on as far as idolatry and worship, and as far as other gods, and seeing the aftermath, seeing the consequence of all those things. Okay. Now, one story that we really didn't get a chance to really get into for the last week or two was the one where, story that I like is when Israel went to war, right? And they were told by the Lord not to take the spoils of this land once they conquered this land, conquered these people. And someone inside of the camp, someone inside of Israel decided to disobey the Most High's order. And because of that, he got unalived, his entire family got unalived, and all of Israel were affected. You know what I mean? And when you go against the Lord, you always lose the battle. Every single time you go against the Most High, you have lost the battle. And you have given more ammunition to the enemy. You always give them the upper hand when you decide to be in a vulnerable place of sin, of disobedience to the Most High. All right? Once again, the Most High is a father. And like every good father, because there are great fathers out there if you have not known, right? Because the world tells you that, you know, every father just seems to be not in no one's life, seems to be missing in action and just absent, right? The thing is, the Most High has rules. He has something that you must stand on and live by. And if you don't follow the rules of the household, you are going to be kicked out. And time, every single time we decide to go against the Most High, that's what's happened. We've been kicked out of his protection, his house, the love that he has for us. And because of that, we are now vulnerable and everybody is able to harm us, to attack us. That's why we are in captivity till this very day, because of our disobedience. So that's the recap of pretty much the last couple of chapters. All right. So let's get to it. We are going to read Numbers chapter 31, verses 41 through 47. All right. And this is going to be in Hebrew. All right. Let's get it. Numbers chapter 31, verse 41. Wayathan, Mashah, Ath, Makas, Tharamath, Yahweh, Laazar, Hakahan, Kashar, Tazawah, Yahweh, Ath, Mashah. Verse 42. Wa Mamakataziyath, Vanya, Yasha'ala, Ashar. Katazah, Mashah, Man. Hanashim. Hatazapayam. Verse 43. Wataya Makatazath. Ha'ida Man. Hatazaan. Shalash. Mayawath. Allah. Washalashim. Allah. Shabayeth. Alapium. Wakamash. Mawa'ath. Verse 44. Wabakwar. Shashah. Washalashim. Allah. Verse 45. Wakamarium. Shalashim. Allah. Wakamash. Mawa'ath. Verse 46. Wanapash. Wanapash. Adam. Shashah. Ishar. Allah. Verse 47. Last verse. Wayakwak. Mashah. Mamakatazath. Yeah. Banya. Yasha'ala. Ath. Hakaz. Akkad. Man. Hakamashim. Man. Hadam. Waman. Habahama. Wayathan. Atham. Lawayam, Shamaria, Mashamarath, Mashakan, Yahweh, Kashar, Tazawa, Yahweh, Ath, Mashah. And that's it on that part. Stop it up. All right. So now we are gonna once again translate from the ancient Paleo Hebrew, going into I like to call it the bastard's tongue. The bastard's tongue meaning English. All right, because English is not so-called Black Latinos and North American Indians' first language at all. The reason why we understand and know this language and use this language is because of where we live. All right, that's anybody. Based on where you live as a people determines what language that you're going to speak. All right, and English is a common bastardized language because it's really not formulated as its own. English is once again it's made up of different languages that are broken. That's why you hear the term broken English a lot of times, because English is not its own language, meaning that it's not original. All right, a lot of languages are not necessarily original. It derives from something else, another time, another place, another people. When you look at history, you will understand how languages were formulated. All right, but a lot of languages are not. Like English, for example, is bastardized. It's a bastardized language. It's not original of its own. Okay, so all right, we are going to get into Numbers chapter 31, verse 41. And Moses gave the tribute, which was the Lord's heave offering, unto Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. 42. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred. Verse 43. Now the half that pertained unto the congregation was 300,000 and 30,000, 7,500 sheep. Now I'm gonna break all this down shortly. Just give me a moment here. There's one part I'm looking for though. Okay, count. All right, verse 44. And 36,000 beeves. I'm sorry. And 36,000 beaters. Verse 45. And 30,000 asses and 500. So as you know, asses in the Bible are donkeys. All right. And verse 46. And 16,000 persons. 47. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. So, all right, so everything that I just read from verse 41 to verse 47 is specifically speaking about this. So once again, I did mention earlier that a war happened, all right? And I believe the war that happened was, let me see. The war that happened was, Israel had went to war with a bunch of heathens, okay? And with these heathens, what the hell is this? Salakia. Okay. So Israel had went to war with heathens, right? And of course they conquered these heathens. I want to say it was the Midianites. All right. I believe this is the Midianites from the last couple of chapters. I know Israel had went to war with a few different people. I know Canaan was another one, the Moabites, the Ammonites. It actually happened fairly quickly in the last couple of chapters that we have been in the book of Numbers. But however, the fact of the matter is that Israel won this battle. And when they won this battle, they are dividing and splitting up the spoil. So you take over a land. When you conquer these people, you have unalived everybody or taking them captives, right? It's not always just about unaliving, right? In war, sometimes you could just take over their territory. Some may be unalive, or you just take over whatever that they own that is valuable. So the values or the spoils is what the Bible calls it, which is the same thing, right? it is all being taken and is being divided amongst the people in Israel. All right. For those who won the battle, is being, the Levites is getting this, because understand at this time in the book of Numbers, the only true priest right now is going to be the Levites. All right. The Levites are the ones who hold the priesthood, the ones who is responsible of the tabernacle of the Most High. So they hold the seats, they call the shots, so they get a portion because of their work, their duty to the Most High. All right. Also, too, a lot of people think that as far as doing the work of the Lord, that you cannot be compensated in some way or fashion or form. Absolutely. So you see how the Christian church, they are always compensated, meaning always money, 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 right? But the way that they go about it is not scriptural. It's not biblical, because they tell you that you don't have to keep any laws except for tithes. But in the Bible, you have to keep all the laws, not just some. You can't do what they call cherry picking. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't say that the law is done away with and then keep the law of tithes. Which one is it? Because if you say the law is done away with, then why are you keeping tithes? It doesn't make sense. Tithes is 10% of all your earnings. Everything. And it's not always just money. Because when we go into the Feast of First Fruits, you will get a better understanding of what 10% means, what tithes means, my Asherah in Hebrew. All right? So I just want to say that part. All right, let's keep going. All right, I want to read 47 again. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one portion of 50, both man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. So even though Moses has some rank, has some responsibility, he still has to make sure that things are in decency and order when it comes to the priests, which are the Levites. Okay? And so he has to make sure that they get their portion, that everything is divided perfectly as the Lord intended it to be. All right? And this is talking about like anything that's valuable, like the cattle, right? Your cattle is going to be, you got your cattle, you got your sheep, you got your donkeys, you got your, even captive people, meaning not slaves per se, but more of those that are going to be servants unto you. You know what I mean? Those that are going to now work for you. Because I did mention, not everybody that you conquer a land is going to be unalive. Because you need some people to, take care of this and take care of that. Every kingdom has servants, slaves, however you want to picture it or say it, right? You don't just kill off all the people. You don't just unalive all the stock. You don't just burn down the whole goddamn entire town. You got to use what they have that is valuable for yourself to build yourself up. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Let me see. Right. Most High in Christ. All right. Let's keep it going. So now let's go to verse 48 all the way down to verse 54. All right, in the Hebrew. This is Numbers chapter 31, verse 48. Vayakarapwa al Mashah Hapakwatyan Ashar La Lapia Hatazabah Sharia. All right. Halakian Washaria Hamawath. Verse 49. Wayamarwa Al Mashah Ibadia. It's like Ibadia Nashawa'a Ath Ra'ash Anashia. Amalakama Ashar Salaki Bayanwa Wala'ah, Napaquad, Mamanwa, Ayash. Verse 50. It's like Wanakara. Oh yeah, it's like Wanakara, Ath, Quaraban, Yahweh, Ayash, Ashar, Mataza'ah, Koya, Zahab, Atazadah, Watazamayad, Tobias, I go, yeah, I go. Wakamaz, Lakapar, Al, not Pashash Yanwa, Lapanya, Yahweh. Verse 51. Wayakwak, Mashah, Wa Alazar, Hakahan, Ath, Hazahab, Ma'atham, Ka'ol, Koya, Mayashah. Verse 52. Wayahaya, Ka'ol, Zahab, Hatar Wama, Ashar, it's like Ashar, Aramwa, La Yahweh, Shashah, Ashar, Allah, Shabai, Ma'awath, Wakamashim, Shaqual, Ma'ath, Sharia, Ha'alapium, Wama'ath, Sharia, Hamawath. Verse 53. Anashia, Hatazaba'ah, Bazazwa, Ayash, Lawa. Verse 54, last verse. Wayakwak, Mashah, Wa Alazar, Hakahan, Ath, Haza'ah, Ma'ath, Sharia, Ha'alapium, Wahamawawath, Wayaba'awa, Athwa, Al, Ahol, Mawa'ai, Zakarwan, Labanya, Yasha'ala, Lapanya, Yahweh. And that's it on that part. All right, let's keep it going. Numbers chapter 31, verse 48. And the officers which were over thousands of the host, the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, came near unto Moses. Excuse me, 49, verse 49. And they said unto Moses, Thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war which are under our charge, and there lacketh not one man of us. Verse 50. We have therefore brought an oblation for the Lord, what every man have gotten of jewels of gold, chains, and bracelets, rings, earrings, and tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar, the priest, took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels. 52. And all the gold of the offerings that they offered unto the Lord. So let me read that again. And all the gold, good night. And all the gold of the offerings that they offer up to the Lord of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds was 16,750 shekels. 53. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. 54. And Moses and Eleazar, the priest, took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it unto the tabernacle of the congregation, for a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord. Sorry, I'm gonna break this down slightly, right? Okay, hold on. Let me see. All right. Okay, so what it's breaking down right here, right? What it's breaking down at verses 48 through 54. It's reiterating the same point, but what's being said is that it's breaking down how the officers bring a voluntary offering, but however, the captains was getting their portion as well. All right, the captains of hundreds, the captains of thousands, and stuff like that. Now the rank and order, right? The rank and order, of course, you have officers of this many ranks. You have captains of this many ranks. You got generals of this many ranks, right? So it's all detailing how everyone is getting their share, their portion from this war. This war that they won, they conquered, destroyed, all of that, right? And it's dividing up the gold, the jewelry, and all the other items, all the precious, valuable items, okay, that it mentioned. And Moses and Eleazar are both doing this. Now the last part, right, when it says all these things were taken into to the tabernacle of the congregation for a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord. That is also understanding that you are giving back to the Most High. Okay, you are giving back to the Most High in the sense of a memorial and an atonement for this battle that they won. Like anytime that you win something, anything that you accomplish, anything that you made a mistake, there's different offerings. You have peace offerings, you have a sin offering, you have a peace offering. You have different type of offerings, but this is giving thanks to the Most High, also giving it back to the people at the same time as well. Like, have you noticed that in war, our enemy takes it all for himself and he doesn't distribute the resources to anybody else? You know what I mean? They keep it all to themselves as greedy bastards and don't share with anybody. What's being displayed here is that everyone is benefiting off of this war, this battle that we won, thanks to the Most High. On top of that, we are giving a memorial and thanks to the Most High, because without him, this battle never would have been won in the first place. In life, when you are going through something, right? When you are going through something and you come out of that difficult, terrible situation, you always got to find a place to thank the Most High. You should never just talk to the Most High as far as prayer or ask for any type of help or assistance when you're always in the jam, when you're always in trouble. That's something that you should not do. You should recognize, you should do it. I mean, you should thank the Lord that you even woke up this damn morning. Because there are people that go to sleep and who do not wake up for whatever reason. It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And that's all the Most High. But you should be thankful. But like Israelite history, you just have to understand the type of people that we are. Like we are different people. You know what I mean? Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. Why is this shit not working? Salaki, y'all bear with me. Let me see something. Hold on. I don't know why this internet is acting weird today. Hold on. Salaki, y'all bear with me real quick. Trying to get my system up and running again. But yeah, so the point of this, right? There we go. One sign of Christ, I think. Yeah, so the point of that is showing how, even the other high-ranking men are getting part of the spoils as well, everybody. And the Most High also too is giving thanks, because now there's going to be a memorial. All right. No, I don't know about that. All right, most high in Christ. There we go. All right. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and keep going. All right. Let me see. All right. There we go. Most high in Christ. All right. Boom. All right, there we go. Selected. This damn internet, boy, crazy. All right. Here we go. All right. Back in action. All right. So let's go ahead and finish off with that. Now we are going to go into chapter 32. All right. This is going to be verses 1 through 7. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. This is Numbers chapter 32, verse 1. Wa makwana Rab Haya Labanya Rawaban Ralabanya God or Gad Itazawam. Yeah. Itazawam Ma'ad Wayara'awa Ath Aratasa Yaizar Wa'ath Aratasa Galad Wahana Hakawam Makawam Makwana verse 2 32 verse 2 Waya Ba'awa Banya God Wabanya Raban Waya Marwa Masha Wa'al Ala Izar Hakahan Wa'al Nashiyawa. So no, Nashiyaya. Ha'ida. Lamar. Verse 3. I Tarath. Slakia wa da wa dawaban waya Izar Wanamara Wakashabwan wala I Slakia wa Lila wa ala Lila wa Shabam Wanabwa. Yeah, Wanabwa. Okay, I see. Yeah, Wanabwa. Wabayan. Verse 4. Harataza, Ashar, Haka, Yahweh, Lapanya, Idath, Yasha'ala, Irataza, Makwana, Hawa'a, Libadyak, Makwana. Verse 5. Waya Amarwa, Matazanwa, Khan, Bayanyak, Yathan, Ath, Harataza, Hazaath, Libadyak, Lakatazaz, all. Thybaranwa, Ath, Hayaradan. Verse 6. Wayamar, Masha, Labanya, God, Ralabanya, Raraban, Ha'akim, Yaba'awa, La, Ma, Lakma, La Malakma, Watham, the Shabwa, Pa, verse 7, last verse, Walama, Ta, Nawawam. No, Ta, Nawam, Ta, Tana, Waman. Yeah, that was right, Khan. All right. As, La, Banya, Yasha'ala, Mayabar, Al, Haratasa, Ashar, Nathan, Laham, Yahweh. And that's it on that. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see. 1, 2. All right, no sweat. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Let me check one thing here. Let me see something here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right, most sign Christ. All right. Let's go back to that. Okay. Let me see something. All right. This is Numbers chapter 32, verse 1. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle. Now Reuben are the Seminole Indians. Last time I checked, the Seminole Indians, and Gad is going to be the North American Indians, all right? Had a very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, that beheld the place was a place for cattle. Verse 2, the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spake unto Moses and Eleazar, the priest, and unto the princes of the congregation, saying, Ataroth and Dibon and Jazer and Nimrah and Heshbon and Elah and Shebam and Nebu and Beam, even the country which the Lord smote before the congregation of Israel, is a land for cattle, and thy servants have cattle. So all the places that were mentioned are, just, places that were round about that the Most High had conquered or, destroyed, right? Verse 5, wherefore said they, if we have found grace in thy sight, let this land be given unto thy servants for a possession, and bring us not over Jordan. Verse 6, and Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit there and sit here? That's a heavy point. That's a very heavy point. I'm going to read that again. All right, that's a very, very heavy point. Good night. All right. He said, and Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here? I'm going to break that down in a second. And wherefore discourage you the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord hath given them. Now, so Reuben and Gad noticed these lands, all right, the lands that were mentioned, like Jazer and Gilead, right? They thought that these places were excellent places for cattle, all right, for livelihood, livestock, right? And so they approached the leader of Israel, Moses and Eleazar, the priests, and they pretty much asked if they could receive this territory instead of crossing the Jordan River, okay? Now, so although it was not bad for them to necessarily ask if this place was necessarily good for their livestock and cattle and things of that sort. But the fact of the matter is this, right? It was practical of their request to ask this of Moses and Eleazar, but however, Moses initially worried if it reflected, the hesitation and lack of faith, because the point of this all was to do what the Most High wanted them to do, which was to go to Jordan. All right, the Jordan River, which is a very famous place that we hear about throughout the Bible. We hear about the Jordan River. We hear about, the Promised Land. We hear about the Garden of Eden, all these places, but the initial plan was what the Most High wanted us to do, not to deviate from the plan. Yes, it's practical. Yes, it sounds very wise. Like, okay, yeah, we can live over here. We can live over there instead of over there. That's very true. But understand that the Most High dealt with Moses directly, meaning that anytime that the Lord in the scriptures has talked to anybody, it was an angel that was present, that would speak to Moses. Now, with angels can present themselves to look like you, me and you. All right? A lot of times in the scriptures, when you see interactions with angels and people, or man, so to speak, because angels and man are not the same. They are different creations. All right? There are beings that would be, I forget it. It's celestial and terrestrial, right? Which are two different beings. So, in this context, Moses hears what they are saying. He's hearing their request, but he just don't think that it's the right move. But it also shows a lack of faith in what's going on right now, what the true mission is. And what the mission is, not to deviate from it. Yes, you got a point, but that's not where we are going to move right now. Maybe at another time, but right now, our plan is to do what the Lord told us to do, which is to go to this place and not that place. That's why he said again, let me read it. He said again, shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here? And he also said, and wherefore discourage ye the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord hath given them. If the Lord has given you something already, why not just take it? Maybe he might give you this thing right here later. But what we have to understand is that the Most High controls the situation. Man doesn't. And everything that the Lord commands us is for a reason. It's not just for nothing. Everything that the Lord wants us to do is for a purpose, even when you cannot see it. Even when you cannot see it or understand it, still do it, because it's the Most High we're speaking about. And don't let Satan play in your head. Don't you follow your own counsel against the Lord's counsel. You know what I mean? Like don't be in your own way. Don't make it complicated. Make it simple and practical. What's practical is following a man of the Lord. That's why they're over you, because there may be a thing that you cannot see that they can see for you. So let them guide you, and you just follow and you walk with them, and that be that. All right, because the Most High is dealing with these men of the Lord. And this is Moses. Moses is in the seat of a place of leading the nation of Israel. And the problem with Israel at this time was they did not honor his authority. They did not see him as the leader, the true leader that he was. All right, like all of the terribleness that was happening, the horrific events that happened amongst Israel could have been avoided if only they truly listened and followed and had the faith in the Most High, and the fact that he, the Most High raised up a leader as great as Moses. All right, I pray you understand. So that's the lesson of that part. Let's keep going. Let's go back into the Hebrew. All right. Give me 1 second here. There we go. And boom. All right. We are in verses 8 through 14. Let's get it. All right. Let me see. All right, Numbers chapter 32, verse 8. Ka, Ashwa, Abatayakam, Bashalakia, Atham, Makodash, Baranai, Kodash, Baranai, La Rawas, As, Harataza. Verse 9. Waya'awa, I, Nicole, Ashikawal, Wayara'awa, Ath, Harataza, Waya Nayawa, Waya Nayawa, Ath, La, Banya, Yasha'ala, La Balathia, Ba'a, On, Harataza, Ashar, Nathan, Laham, Yahweh. Verse 10. Wayakar, Ap, Yahweh. Wayawam, Hawa, Wayashabai, Lamar. Verse 11. Yara'awa, Hanashim, Ha'alyim, Matazarium, Maban, Asharium, Shana, Wamayala, Ath, Ha'adama, Ashar, Nashabayath, La Abraham, La Tazakak, Walayakwa, Kaya, La'a, Mala'awa, Akaria. Verse 12. Balathia, Kalab, Bun, Yapana, Hakonazia, Wayahawashai, Bun, Nawan, Kaya, Mala'awa, Akaria, Yahweh. Verse 13. Wayakar, Ap, Yahweh, Wayashala, Wayanaam, Bamadabar, Arabayim, Shana, I, Thumb, Call, Hadawar, Ha'ayashah, Harai, Bayunya, Yahweh. Verse 14, last verse. Wahana, Kwawatham, Zakath, Abathiakam, Tharabawath, Anashim, Kata'am, Lasapawath, Iwad, Al, Karwan, Ap, Yahweh, Al, Yashala. And that's it on that. All right. Clap it up. All right, let's get back to the English. All right. Better yet, let's get back to the bastard's tongue, is what I like to say. All right, so Numbers chapter 32, verse 8. Thus did your fathers when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. Verse 9. For when they went up the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel that they should not go into the land which the Lord had given them.
that's another thing too, right? That was a big issue. Man, I mean, Moses went through hell when it came to Black, Latinos, and North American Indians. Because every time Moses was given an order by the Lord, and the Most High explained and told Moses, okay, let me break it down slowly. When we first came out of Egypt, right? Moses was the one who led us out of Egypt into the wilderness, out of the wilderness, going to this place, going to that place. We had instructions to do this and to do that, to establish ourselves. Time and time again, throughout the book of Exodus, all the way through, I mean, really all the first 5 books of Moses, man. I mean, man. What we saw was the constant back and forth, the constant rebellion, disobedient type of spirit. They did not honor Moses' authority. They did not honor the Most High's words, and they did not see the bigger picture. And because of that, a lot of times, like, you know, there was conflict about going into a place and living here. Like understand that the children of Israel were living comfortable in oppression. So imagine leaving out of a place that you live in right now. You live in Minnesota, right? You live in Minnesota, you live in the city. But now you have to flee from the city. And you have to go into a deserted area where you don't have a Target. You don't have a Walmart. You don't have a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's. You don't have your corner store. You don't have your gas station. You ain't got no Holiday, no Speedway. You ain't got none of that. You don't have a community area where you could go get, a hair shop, any fast food, any nails, any type of shoes. You ain't got no malls. It's just you and nothing surrounding you that's close by, nothing that's nearby. Now you have to use whatever is in front of you. Now you got to work the land. Now you got to build your stores. Now you got to go find your food. So, and then you're used to a 9 to 5, where you are getting guaranteed money without question if you put in the work. But now you have to live off what you what you have. And you have to make it work, because you are not guaranteed that instant money, that check, that direct deposit. Because now you are in a place where there's none of that. You're not in the city. You're not in a place of comfortability. So the situation of us leaving, as far as Israel leaving out of Egypt, was an uncomfortable situation. And they were dealing with it for quite a small time. It sounds like a long time, between Exodus and this book and that book. But I mean, when you think about it, it was really a small time. All right, it was just for a time, but it was uncomfortable for the children of Israel because they were so used to being under someone who was a tyrant, an oppressor for such a long time. And they disrespected, and I don't want to say that more, disrespected. They did not honor or give an F about Moses' authority. They kept battling, kept coming up against Moses. And the Most High punished Israel for it. When Moses said, we have to go right, they said, no, we have to go left. And that discouraged the people. It's the point that I'm trying to get to. They discouraged the people from doing what the Most High intended us to do in the first place. And it caused issues and major issues. And that's why the Most High had to punish and unalive Israel the way that he did. Because it was constant. It wasn't one situation. It wasn't two. It wasn't three. It was more than one offense. And the Lord had enough of it. The Lord just said, you know what? I try to show you this. I try to give you this. I try to, break it down so simple. But hey, you know what? Now y'all have gotten to the point where it's time for y'all to learn a different way. And we have to learn the hard way. Okay? And that's that on that part. All right. Let's move on. So let me keep going. Verse 10. And the Lord's anger was kindled the same time, and he swore, saying, verse 11. Surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt, that's so funny that we are even reading this, because I just explained this. Surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me. Verse 12, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzite, and Joshua the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed the Lord. Verse 13, and the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that they had done evil in the sight of the Lord was consumed. Damn. Let me read that again. And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord was consumed. And you may be thinking that 40 years is really a long time. When you think about it, it's really not that long. The way that time moves and the way that generations are created, it's not that long. Like I said, it's a small time, right? And as you know, to the Most High, one day is like 1,000 years. Paraphrasing. Verse 14, and behold, ye are risen up in your father's stead, an increase of sinful men, to augment yet the fierce anger of the Lord toward Israel. Now that's heavy as hell, all right? So pretty much Moses rebukes the tribes, right? And on top of that, let me see something. Yeah, on top of that, right? He also refers their actions in the request to what happened in the earlier chapters. I want to say Numbers chapter 13 and 14 to be exact, right? Now, also too, with this, Moses is describing that he fears that they are going to be discouraged because of that past situation that happened in chapter 13 and 14, because of them being rebellious and going against the Most High and also Moses, right? And also too, the Most High's anger could return, and just like what the Most High did with the fiery serpents, with opening the ground and making them sick, all those things that happened in previous chapters in the book of Numbers, he fears that can happen again to them. That's why he corrected them or charged them the way that he did, as far as Reuben and Gad. But furthermore, and just to reiterate, when it says, save Caleb and Joshua, because in the previous generations, right, because of Israel's unbelief, they died. But Joshua and Caleb survived. Okay? Let me see. It's something else that I want to touch on as well. I think that was that. Yeah. That was that. I don't want to jump the gun. All right, let's keep going. Now we're going to get into 15. Okay, so 1, 2. All right, cool. All right, Most High in Christ. All right. Let's keep going. All right, this is Numbers chapter 32, verse 15. Kaya. Dashawaban, Ma Karyawa, Wayasak, Iwad, Laha Nayakwa, Laha Nayakwa, Bamadabar, Washakatham, Slakina, Washakatham, Lakol, Ha'aim, Hazah, verse 16, Wayagashim, it's like Wayagashwa, Alyawa, Waya Amarwa, Gadarath, Tazan, Nabana, Lama Kwanawa, Pa, what Arian, what was that? La Tapanwa, verse 17. Nakwa, Na Kalataza, Kashim, Lapanya, Banya, Yasha'ala, I, Ashar, Abayanam, Al, Makawam, Wayashab, Tabanwa, Baryaria, Hamabatazar, Mapanya, Yashabya, Haratazar. Verse 18, La'ah, Nashawab, Al, Batayanwa, I, Hatanakol, Banya, Yasha'ala, Ayash, Nakalatwa. Verse 19, Kaya, La'ah, Nanakol, Atham, Mayabar, La Yaradan, Wahala'ah, Kaya, Ba'ah, Nakalatwa, Alayanwa, Mayabar, Ha Yaradan, Hamazarak, verse 20, Waya Amar, Alaham, Mashah, Dashawan, Ath, Hadabar, Hazah, Takalatazawa, Lapanya, Yahweh, Lamalakma, verse 21, last verse. Wayabar, Lakam, Kol, Kalataza, Ath, Hayaradan, Lapanya, Yahweh, I, Harayashwa, Ath, Ayabyawa, Mapanyawa. And then that's it on that. Slap it up. All right, almost done here. Okay. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, this is Numbers chapter 32, verse 15. All right. For if ye turn away from after him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness. Ye shall destroy all this people. Verse 16. And they came near unto him and said, we will build sheepfolds here for our cattle and cities for our little ones. Verse 17. But we ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel until we have brought them unto their place. And our little ones shall dwell in the fenced cities because of the inhabitants of the land. Verse 18, we will not return unto our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. Verse 19, for we will not inherit with them on yonder side Jordan or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side Jordan eastward. Verse 20, and Moses said unto them, if ye will do this thing, if ye will go armed before the Lord to war, verse 21, and will go all of you armed over Jordan before the Lord until he have driven out his enemies his enemies from before him. So I'll break this all down if it was kind of confusing. Okay, so Reuben and Gad clarified their how do you say it? Reuben and Gad clarifies their intentions, all right, as far as the land goes, right? And then let me just grab something real quick. Let me see something. Yeah, I want to clarify this part too, because boom. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So, of course, so as far as Reuben and Gad, they clarified their intentions, right? And they explained that they're not abandoning Israel, but however, they will build in this place right here. The sheepfolds for the livestock, meaning fenced area for the livestock, the cattle, and cities for their families as well. That's one part. However, after this, then their soldiers will cross the Jordan and Jordan armed for battle. They promised to fight alongside Israel, of course, but not to return home until the land is conquered. Okay. Now, of course, they are listening to Moses. They are going to fulfill their duties, because understand that Moses had very strong and ready to go to war type men, ready to battle type men out of each tribe, out of each 12 tribe. All right, that's their army. Okay. Now they of course intended to fulfill their military responsibilities first before they did anything else. All right, so that was their request and their deal. Okay. Let me see. All right. So moving back on to back to the Hebrew. Let's go ahead and just finish this off, because we got like 2 sets of 7 to finish off, so 14 scriptures in total. Right. All right. So 22, 28. All right. So this is Numbers chapter 32, verse 22. Wana kabasha harataza lapanya Yahweh wa kar the shabwa by Yatham na koyam my Yahweh. Okay. Wa Maya Sha'ala. Wa Maya Sha'ala. Wa Hayatha Harataza Haza'ath Lakam La Akaza Lapanya Yahweh. Verse 23. Wa'am La'a Ta'aishawam Khan Hana Atham, La Yahweh, Yediwa, Kata Athakam, Ashar, Mataza'ah, Athkam, verse 24, Banwa, Lakam, Aryam, Latapkam, Salaki, Latapakam, Wa Lataza Nayakam, Waha Yataza'a, Mapayakam, the Ashwa. Verse 25. Waya Amar, Banya, God, Wabanya, Rabban, Al, Mashah, La Amar, Ibadiat, Ya Ashwa, Kashar, Madanya, Mazawa. All right, verse 26. Tapanwa, Nashiyanwa, Makawanwa, Wakol, Baha Mathanwa, Yahayawa, Shum, Bayaria, Hagalad, Hagalad, verse 27. Wa'ai Yabarwa, Ka'ol, Kalataza, Tazaba'a, Lapanya, Yahawa, Lakatama, Lakatama, Kashar, Adanya, Dabar, verse 28, last verse. Wayatazawa, Lahum, Mashah, Ath, Alazar, Alaizar, Hakahan, Wa'ath, Yahawashai, Bun, Nawan, Wa'ath, Ra'ashia, Abawath, Hamatzawath, Lapanya, Yasha'ala. And that's it on that. All right. So, all right, here we go. All right, this is Numbers chapter 32, verse 22. And the land be subdued before the Lord. Then afterward ye shall return and be guiltless before the Lord and before Israel in the land. And this land shall be your possession before the Lord. 23. But if ye will not do so, behold, ye have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you not, or Salakia, and be sure your sin will find you out. 24. Build you cities for your little ones and folds for your sheep, and do that which have proceeded out of your mouth. 25. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spake unto Moses, saying, Thy servants will do as my Lord commandeth. 26. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all of our cattle shall be there in the cities of Gilead. 27. But thy servants will pass over, every man armed for war, before the Lord to battle, as my Lord saith. 28. So concerning them Moses commanded Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the chief fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And then that's it on that part. All right. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so this is what it's saying. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Moses established the terms and conditions, so to speak, right? So Moses reiterates this as far as him agreeing to what they have said, as far as Reuben and Gad. So this is it. So they have to cross over to Jordan, right? So cross armed before the Lord. They have to help conquer the land, which that's their duty, and they have to continue fighting until Israel has received rest, meaning that they have been established and received their their land, their inheritance, so on and so forth, all the things that the Most High had in place to begin with. If they obey, they may possess the land, the east of Jordan. Okay, but however, this is the thing. Although they had a term and a condition, and they reiterated these things, Moses also said this, that don't he warns them, so to speak, be sure your sin will find you out, meaning that he prays that this shit doesn't bite them in the ass. They say they requested these things. They put in a negotiation of what they want things to be done, as far as Reuben and Gad, what they want. But however, this is what the Lord wants. So if y'all want this, do what the Lord said to do first. Make sure this is all laid out and flat and taken care of. All right. However, you say that you are going to do this for the Lord and you want to get this out of it. Well, make sure that you don't bite yourself in the ass. Make sure that you can deliver on this part when it comes to the Most High, because this comes first. Okay. One thing is, the Bible says to let your yea be your yea, your nay be your nay. Make sure that you are absolutely sure about what you intend to do for the Lord. Don't give a half-ass response. Don't give a half-ass type of action towards this thing that you say that you are going to do. That's in life in general, and that's when it comes to taking the oath. When you follow the Most High, you get that oil poured on your head. This is the oath. This is not a situation where you are going to be lukewarm. You're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You got to be sure. You can't be unsure. You have to be sure. You absolutely have to be sure about this job. And everything, be sure. If you know that you're not going to be at a certain location at a certain time, you knowing yourself, don't mention that you're going to be there. Don't mention it. Don't say, oh, I promise. Oh, I guarantee. Oh, I will be there. If you're not going to be there, and you know what? Things happen. Things change. If you're someone that you know that you might be able to be there, it might happen for you, say Lord aloud. You know what I mean? Say Lord aloud. Be careful. That's why we say that we may have class. We intend on doing a lot of things. We intend on taking over this city. We intend on doing this and intend on doing that. Lord allow. Lord allow, I see you at camp. Lord allow, I see you at Passover. Lord allow, I see you at the cookout. Lord allow, I see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? Let your yea be your yea, your nay be your nay. That's how it goes. All right. And also too, people's intentions can show whether it was genuine or not. So that's another thing why Moses said, pretty much in a nutshell, I pray that your sin doesn't find you. All right, it doesn't expose you. It doesn't discredit you. I pray that what you're saying is genuine and that is on point. I pray that you're not a fraud. I pray that you're not a hypocrite. All right, moving on. Verses 29 through 35, and then that's that for the remaining of the Sabbath service. Okay. All right. Okay. Numbers chapter 32, verse 29. Wayamar, Mashah, Alaham, Yabarwa, Banya, Gad, Wabanya, Rawaban, Athakam, Ath, Hayaradan, Kol, Kalataza, Lamalakma, Labanya, Yahweh, Wana Kabashya, Wana Kabasha, Harataza, Lapanyakam, Wana the thumb, Laham, Ath, Harataza, Ha Gilead, Ha Gilead, La Akaza, verse 30. Wa'am, La'a, Ya Abarwa, Kala, what is it? Kala, what is it? Select it. Kala, what does it? Kala, what is it? Come, at the come. What anakazwa, what the kakam, ba arataza, kanayim, verse 31. Waya anwa, banya, God, wabanya, raraban, la mar, ath, ashar, dabar, Yahweh, al, abayak, kan, Nayasha. All right. Verse 32. Nakanwa. Select. Nakanwa. Nayabar. Kala. What is it? Come. Kala. What is it? Come. Lapanya. Yahweh. Arataza. Kanayim. Watanwa. All right. Let me see. Oh, okay, time. Akazath. Na kalath. Na kalathwa. Na kalathwa. Mayabar. Layaradan. Verse 33. All right. Wayathan, Laham, Mashah, Lapanya, Gad, Walabanya, Rawaban, Walakatazaya, Shabbat, Manashah. Okay. All right. Bun, Yawasap, Ath, Mama Lakath, Sayakan, Malak, Amaria, Wa'ath, Mama Lakath, Iwad. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. Malak, Habashan, Arataza, Laria, Vagabalath. All right. Arya, Arataza, Bayab. And then verse, let's see, verse 34. Wayabanwa, Banya, Gad, Ath, Dababan, Wa'ath, Atarath, Wa'ath, Arira. Verse 35, last verse. Wa'ath, Atarath, Shawapun, Wa'ath, Yazar, Waya Tabah. And that's it on that. Yeah, clap it up. That's it. All right, that's it on that part. Okay. So like, give me a second here. All right, most high Christ. All right. All right, so let's finish this off. This is Numbers chapter 32, verse 29 to 35. All right. And Moses said unto them, if the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass with over Jordan, every man armed to battle before the Lord, and the land shall be subdued before you. Then ye shall give them the land of Gilead for possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possession among you in the land of Canaan. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, as the Lord hath said, unto thy servants so will we do. 32. We will pass over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, that the possessions of our inheritance on this side Jordan may be ours. And Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, and unto half of the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Shuhan, the kingdom of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land with the cities thereof. Let me see. The land of the cities thereof, and the coast, even the cities of the country round about. 34. And the children of Gad built Gibeon and Ataroth and Aror. 35. And Ataroth, Shaphan, and Jazor, and Jabahah. And then it stops right there, right? So it's going to list off more cities that Israel is going to conquer and take over, okay? Now, this is the one part that I want to get into. So, of course, reading this, right? So the tribes of Gad and Reuben, they agreed to what Moses had, commanded them to do, as far as establishing what was going to be done first, and then and then what Reuben and Gad is going to do right after. The Most High's duties and responsibilities were to be, completed and done, right? Okay. Now moving on. Let me see. Now also too, Moses explains tells Eleazar, Joshua, and the leaders of Israel about the agreement. So if Gad and Reuben fight faithfully, they receive the land. If not, they must settle within Canaan alongside the others. Okay, and this is Moses ensuring the agreement survives beyond his own lifetime by involving future leaders, so to speak. Now, moving on. When we get to verse like 31 and 32, Reuben and Gad, reaffirm obedience because they were lacking it for a second. And they pretty much repeat their promise, which is they would do as the Lord commanded, will cross over, armed, and their inheritance east of Jordan will remain theirs as well. Okay. Now, this time, this is when the land is officially granted, looking at verse 33. And this is where Moses gives territory to the tribe of Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh. So we got the North American Indians, who is Gad, Reuben, who are the Seminole Indians, and Manasseh, who are the Cubans. Okay? All right. The land formerly belongs to, right now, Shuhan, the king of the Amorites, and Og, the king of Bashan. And it's going to get deeper more to who those people are and stuff. Right. So let me see. Now, getting down to the last two verses, 34 and 35, when it said, so the cities are rebuilt and fortified, all right? So the tribes begin rebuilding and strengthening cities, that are all included, which is Daban, Azareth, Aror, Troth, Shofan, Jezur, and I think it's Hagbanah. No, Hagbaha is how you pronounce that, I think. Their cities become fortified settlements, of course, like, for the families, defense, and livestock. Okay? And this is where they are going to, have the foundation of their inheritance in these cities, in these places that they conquered or subdued, thanks to the Most High in Christ. All right? So that's really it on that part. So yeah, let me close this. All right? So with that being said, I imagine, which means to stand. Okay. Looks like somebody had a question. So someone said, why don't we use the KJV? We do use the KJV. All right. We don't use anything else but the KJV. And the reason why we use it is because it is the most accurate translation to the Dead Sea Scrolls. All right. Let's see what else. There's another question. Why we don't use the book of Enoch asking for a friend? Meaning, why don't we use the book of Enoch is the entire question. The reason why we don't use the book of Enoch is because it's not a real book. It does not correlate at all or match up with the KJV at all, or really any book for that matter. So in order to know what books are actually factual and that are true, you have to have other sources. You know what I mean? Like the Bible is one source, and then other books that relate to that book, to the events. Because the Bible is not a fairy tale. It's very historical information, information. And a lot of the things that you read in the Bible, you can fact check outside sources as well that line up, that there are events that line up with the Bible to let you know that this is an actual book that is with true events. All right, not fake, not fairy tale, not something that's been made up. This is real, okay? The Bible is a real prophetic book. It's a historical record for the Israelites, of course. The book of Enoch is not an actual book that is real. And when you get the true book of the Enoch, right, the real book of the Enoch, somewhere in there it tells you that this is not a part of the Bible. Like somewhere in there it tells you that this is not an established book that's related to the Bible in the sense of that is real. It's something that someone made up afterwards. This is not a book that came about during, the time of Moses and blah, blah, blah. It's not a real book. There are other books out there too that people think that are part of the Bible, but it is not. It does not line up at all. It goes against the Bible more than anything. All right. So that being said, once again, I imagine, which means to stand. So yep, I imagine. Everyone stands. All right. Second. All right, there you go. Better. All right. All right, this is the Lord's Prayer. So we'll find out Hapadam, face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Adonai, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shukah, Yahweh, Malakwathka, Daba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'aratazak, Kawa, Haya,
Bashamayim, Thalanawa, Kam, Call Yuam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Wala Taba Taba Alnawa, now. When I say one, above, how Shainawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa Allah, Wa Tapara, La Awalamim, Aman, in the English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever, so be it. Amen. The power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa. So like Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Barak Kashah, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Lar Pa'ah, Kal Makalak, or Kal Manawak, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazari, Hakak, Lahakim, Hamathim, Hakak, Arakawath, Hatama Allah, Lagarshim, by Hashem Yahushai, Kabara in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel. In the Hebrew, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Vayasha Allah, Wahabayat Saparia, Barak by Hashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. In the English, what we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahushai, bless us in Israel and the school. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayanya, Ahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Azariah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Asha, Shemaya, Waratasa, Ayatan, Lamawats, Rugaka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Yashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazaka, Ayat, Yumyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'aya, Kakak, Rayarak, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makar Rad, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, to the Afka, Wawaka, Mayatha, Wa'ai, Awalam. In the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Dam Yalaka, Al-Dakarach, Al-Dashakwa, Al-Kayahana, Awabika, Yahama Yawan, Ra'ash Al-Amaka, Yarayawa, Sawata, Wayata Yatazawa, Al-Tazapuwanyaka, Amara, Lakawa, Unakakidam, Magoya, Wala'aya Sakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Iwada Kaya, Nawatazawa, Laba, Yakadu, Ayuka, Barayaf, Yakaraka, Ahoya, Alawam, Wayashama, Alayam, Mawa'awa, Wargarium, Kabal, Waimawan, Waimalak, Halashat, Amyashabia, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawat, Sarah, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Ashalaham, Kamadian, Kasiyat Sarah, Kayabian, Banakol, Payashwan, Nashimat, Bayan, the Arwa, Hayawat, the Man, La Adama, Shea Thumba, Nandar Yakmawa, Kaira, because of the Zor Manai, Call Nasir Kalwa, Ashore, Amara, Narasha, Lanawa, Af, Naawa, Alahayim, Alahayah. Shatanga, Kavagala, Kawash, La Panya Rawaka, Kaash, the Baria Ira. Baria Ira, let me see. Wa Kalabat, the Lahat, Harium, Khan, Dardatma, Besarika, Wabasa Wapatla, Galaham, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kualawan, Waya, Kwashwa, Shaka, Yahweh, Yabashwa. Waya Bahal, Waya Ai, Waya Kapar, Waya Abadu, Waya the Iowa, Kia Ata, Shaka, Yahweh Labaka, Ali1, Al Karataza. In the Psalms 83 in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies make us smoke, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Yahshua Allah may be no more in remembrance. For they are consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hungarians, the Baal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook Kisan, which carries at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a rib and like Zeb, yea, are the prince as Sabbath and as the moon, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession, O my power. Make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded in trouble forever, yea. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. ISUPK power structures. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. To the evils, the curses, the punishment, and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, like prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. To the evils, the curses, the punishment, and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches to enter into thy sanctuary. To the evils, the curses, the punishment, and destruction to the Edomites and their nations, and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Father Kamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us broadcast your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel, come down with flying saucers, punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels who have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always, so be it. All right. Star, which means to turn. All right. Here we go. All right. All right. All right. I'm in Israel. One courtesy salute. I'm in Israel, my Shabbat. I imagine. Barak. Yahweh Shemi Al Shar Rakatham. That's the top. Hands to your side. Sar. Meets face the sisters. Courtesy salute for the sisters. Men of Israel, my Shabbat. I imagine. Barak. Yahweh Shemar Alataba Shemi Al Shai. Yatamata. Class dismissed. All right, shalom, Israel.